Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker, for this opportunity to make my maiden speech, and may I congratulate you on your recent election. I'd also like to congratulate all those who've made maiden speeches today, in particular the Honourable Member for High Peak, who spoke so passionately about both the beauty of his constituency and his childhood experiences, which he brings to this House. I am honoured to have been elected by the people of Thornbury and Yate to be their voice and champion here in Parliament. Ours is a beautiful and hugely varied rural constituency, with the towns of Thornbury, Yate and Chipping Sodbury, and many villages stretching from Hill, Fallfield and Charfield in the north to Bridgate, Syston and Wick in the south. To the east is the Cotswold Escarpment, part of a designated national park landscape. To the west is the Severn Estuary, a Ramscar wetland of international importance and formerly home to the Ost Ferry, made famous by Bob Dylan. There is much worth visiting locally, from historic attractions such as Dereham Park and Acton Court to the more modern. Bristol Zoo Project carries out important international conservation work, while not far away, and I hesitate to mention this when my leader, the Right Honourable Member for Kingston and Surbiton, might be listening, there is an artificial inland surfing lake called the Wave. There is a real history of innovation locally, although sadly my own parish of Frampton Cotterell's claim to the invention of a Stetson hat appears to be little more than an urban legend. However, we can be proud that the pioneer of vaccination, Edward Jenner, started his medical training in Chipping Sodbury. Nowadays, many of my constituents work in cutting-edge industries in our region, such as aerospace. With a background in maths and software engineering myself, I take a keen interest in seeing those industries flourish and want to ensure our young people can benefit from the opportunities they bring. But my constituency is of course more than its landscapes and history. It is about the people who live there and their fantastic community spirit. I saw it in my own village during the pandemic, when hundreds of volunteers rallied to help others. Whether it's the Big Lunch in Chipping Sodbury, the Yate Aging Better Festival, Thornbury Carnival or any of a myriad other events and groups, they all contribute to making the constituency a wonderful place to live. Now I'd like to thank my predecessor, Luke Hall, who served Thornbury and Yate for 9 years, during which time he championed neonatal care leave and held posts in the departments for education and for housing, communities and local government. I wish him and his family all the best for the future. I also thank his predecessor, the former Pensions Minister, Sir Steve Webb, who has been a great source of wisdom for me and who is fondly remembered by many constituents. He set a very high bar for all his successors that I will do my best to meet. And while I am thanking people, I would like to put on record my gratitude to Councillor Maggie Tyrrell, who has recently succeeded me as the leader of South Gloucestershire Council. I know that the council is in safe hands as I bring that experience to this place. Turning to the topic of this debate, I'm grateful for the opportunity to make this speech in this important debate, because if we're to tackle the climate crisis and cut congestion on our roads, then we must get rail services back on track to give people genuine alternatives to get around effectively. There are currently 3 railway stations in my constituency. Yates Station was reopened in the 1980s, and we desperately need the proposed redevelopment to get underway. I will also be seeking to ensure the funding for half-hourly services is extended beyond the current end date of 2026. This will not only benefit Yate, but also provide an hourly train for the new station, which is planned at Charfield. The station at Pilning is a parliamentary station, with just 1 train running a week to avoid formally closing it. Its location near the growing industrial area of Sevenside means that, if properly reopened, it is prime place to help the many people who travel from South Wales to work to make the trip without a car. The 3rd station is Severn Beach. Once a seaside resort, the line now serves commuters. However, commuters can be left disappointed by flooding on the line, as well as the fact the service is not more frequent. Rail campaigners are also keen to see other stations reopened, such as Colport Heath and Thornbury. But for this to be possible, we need national investment in Westerly Junction to increase capacity and unlock this potential. I hope the Secretary of State will commit to making this part of the integrated infrastructure review that was referenced earlier. As my honourable friend, the member for Bath, said, ultimately passengers aren't interested in who runs the trains. They simply want them to run on time and for the tickets to be affordable. Given the continued squeeze on people's finances, I believe we need an immediate freeze on rail fares, and our fragmented ticketing system needs simplifying to cut costs for commuters. We also need to think about the integration with other forms of public transport. In my constituency, we have seen serious cutbacks to local bus services, with many villages left with no regular buses at all. My aim in this place will be to champion the rights of people to have affordable and green methods of transport, whether they live in rural or urban areas. In conclusion, Madam Deputy Speaker, I promise to work tirelessly for my constituents, not only on fixing our railways, but on other issues too, such as the fact that our schools are amongst the lowest funded in the country, and it's almost impossible to register with an NHS dentist locally. I look forward to working constructively with honourable and right honourable members across the House to address these problems and ensure the people of Thornbury and Yate get the fair deal that they deserve. Thank you.